Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell. Welcome to Two Women in Crypto, a weekly podcast birthed on a whim by two women who are excited about the cryptocurrency landscape and have a shared passion about empowering others to step into the digital, tokenized world of the future. We offer tips, tricks, and our own individual insights as to how to begin to navigate this shift. We are not financial advisors nor experts. We are just here to encourage you to look at the possibilities. So welcome to the future. You're right on time.
It's the government shutdown theater.
So funny. And your background is amazing. And truly, from this perspective, you look like you're sitting on a throne of popcorn.
I'm on a throne of popcorn. We have a looming government shutdown.
What will be woven next?
Is it all theater?
Feels like it. It feels
It really truly does.
And it's the puppets. It's like the puppeteers. You just don't see the strings, and everybody's being manipulated along the way, as well as us if we're not paying attention, if we're not letting the manipulation take us and push us along. So
yeah, it's kind of crazy, and Kel, okay, so welcome back to Women in Crypto. Here we go. We're having our coffee. Oh, I can't even see my cup. Oh, there it is.
It is.
I've been working on new virtual backgrounds since I'm constantly traveling. Seems to be what I'm doing now. So anyway, before we kind of get into everything, I just wanted to talk to you because I'm watching Gary Gensler. He's being interviewed, from Congress members yesterday. And it's hard to believe that it's not all theater, that it's not all staged and a strategic strategy to do whatever it is they're planning on doing, because I've been watching them now for a couple of years, right? I never used to, but because of, it's very concerning what's going on in the world. So obviously we're following it, right? So I'm just like, they yell at each other. The Republicans are screaming at, Gary Gensler. All the YouTube influencers are like, oh, Gary got yelled at. He got the smackdown, all these things. But I feel like it's all planned because we still don't have a spot Bitcoin ETF.
You're right. Yeah.
Is Gary Gensler breaking the law by not approving the spot Bitcoin ETF? The judge told him it was capricious and all these fancy words. You have no reason to deny the spot Bitcoin ETF. So what does Gary do? He delays it. We're not getting one this year, folks. It's not looking good. I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, and wasn't there something? Oh, maybe was it Congress that was pushing to get it approved? Was that what I saw yesterday?
They're pushing him to approve a spot Bitcoin ETF, and I think in retaliation he delayed it before the meeting because they're like children fighting in the background, but they have to figure out a way to control it, right? They have to, right? So it takes time. Everything has to be in place. I believe it already is, but delaying, like this one was ARK Investments and it was one other. It was delayed until November, and technically by law, I think he can keep delaying them until March.
Well, just in time for the Bitcoin halving.
So,
regardless of what they're doing, and we know they're up to something, you cannot skirt, I should say, the inevitable. And the Bitcoin halving is happening in April. So get more popcorn. That's all we can do, right?
Because then we have the presidential election in November. And historically speaking, it's very rare when the stock market isn't up. because these folks want to get reelected. They're not going to get reelected if we have some sort of crash.
Right.
And it doesn't mean we're not going to have a crash, right? Because we don't know for sure. But like, I'm just looking at all of these factors to lead us up into a bull cycle. So even if we have like an event that brings down crypto, it would probably be the last one, right? And then we're going to eventually get signed legislation. We're going to get these spot Bitcoin ETFs approved. And and it's not like, okay, everyone gets the spot Bitcoin ETF approved on the same day. That better happen, because otherwise we're picking favorites, even though, it's probably BlackRock, right? So,
Oh, I'm sure
but
it'll
we'll
be
see.
on the list.
But if BlackRock gets approved over like ARK Investments, I mean, the Winklevoss brothers from Gemini have been trying for 10 years.
Yeah.
And BlackRock comes in and they're like, make it happen.
Yep, of course. Well, they own the world, pretty much.
Right, which is, I'm glad you brought that up, Kel, because this is the other disturbing thing that no one was really talking about on YouTube about the hearing with Gary Gensler. So Gary Gensler, is being asked questions about climate disclosures. And he's like, listen, the top 1,000 companies, 80% of them are already giving us climate disclosures. And anyone who's been listening to Two Women in Crypto, who owns the top 1,000 companies in the United States?
Just think, is it BlackRock?
I think it is.
Chicken dinner. There's a few of us out there.
So and then he actually says, the investors of the top 1,000 companies want this. Well, sure, it's one company. I mean, this is like mass manipulation. It's not being truthful to the people of the United States. And it's like, folks, Kelly always says, it's time to step out of line. Seriously, we have a Q&A this Saturday. It's $10. Share it with your friends, share it with your family. Go to our website, twowomenencrypto.com. Bring your questions, because Bitcoin is having in April. We're going to get these spot Bitcoin ETFs approved. We have about 7 months when the halving happens. And again, it's like some emotional, psychological thing with our human brains that when Bitcoin hits 50, 60 grand, everyone's going to come in.
Right. Well, for sure. I mean, and we all know that by the time there's a lot of positive news in the market around crypto, that's when we're reaching that crescendo, too. So getting ahead. Sorry, I have a very needy dog this morning, folks. I apologize. It's pouring rain here and he's not happy about it. So he's having a
little snuggle time with his mommy. Hey, Rogue.
It's gonna be that way. It's either that or I'm gonna be up and down. So
hey, Rogue, what do you think about the market? Should we dollar cost average into BTC? Yeah.
Please do. So I lost my train. I apologize. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, no. So, I mean, it was a little disturbing, like listening to this, like congressional hearing yesterday, and, they can subpoena Gary Gensler for being non-compliant with the law. Gary Gensler, the commissioner of the Securities Exchange Commission, is not following congressional requests, which is illegal. It's against the law. So Gary Gensler is not in compliance with Congress. It's not a good situation, y'all. So again, it's like, I don't know what's going to happen. It's not like we're in this free market capitalistic society anymore. Everything is centralized. Everything is controlled. And, that's kind of why I wanted to talk about digital IDs today. Because like, whether you want one or not, you're going to have one. We're all going to have one, right?
Well, I know this is going to be part of it, so I'll wait till you go through your news because I know how grateful we all are for you always doing the deep dive. We talked a lot about that last night when we connected. I'm so grateful that this is what you are here to do, is to inform and keep all of us out of the weeds ourselves, but you're in it. So yeah, I'm excited because there was something that was posted this morning. I think you might even cover it. So anyway, continue, please.
Okay, so so yeah, I think it was yesterday. So the G20 leaderships, they met, and a big focus of their meeting was about digital ID. So when we think about G20 nations, it's the government talking about the economy. And G20 nations is the United States, China, Russia, Italy, Japan, South Africa. I mean, it's one of the top 20 largest countries. They do 80% of GDP, 75% of trading, 60% of the world's population falls under, the G20. Now, Russia and China, they didn't go.
Imagine that.
Right. So the world's changing, so we'll see what happens with that. But it was really interesting because I think about what their plan is with the World Economic Forum, because they are definitely a part of the World Economic Forum. And basically what they want everyone to have a centralized ID with the government. So the government will know everything about you. You will need permission to drive your car, to go to the doctor, to purchase groceries, to travel. Okay. And if you're okay with that, I say go for it. If you're uncomfortable making decisions for yourself, I think this is a great opportunity. Get your UBI with programmable money and do what you're told. But if you're a freedom-minded person, if you believe that you're a soul and you have your spirit, we were talking about this, right, last night, and you have some fire in your belly still, then maybe we want to do a decentralized ID, otherwise known as DIDS. And I like it.
Which I'm excited to hear about. I think it was this morning that I read that China is going to be implementing, or maybe they already have, I didn't read the entire article, where you no longer have to travel with papers. You just have to scan your iris. You're paperless, which we've talked about that already, the iris scans that are coming in, but I think China is getting ready to implement that here. Getting on the train, scan your iris or whatever you're going to be doing. Yeah. They'll know where you are.
I mean, I know they're starting to do it at some of the airports here. I don't know if it's scanning your iris, but it's definitely facial recognition. And they do want people to become like global citizens, have one world government. And if China is the leader, not so bueno, right? So it's not so good. I don't really want to do that. I mean, I probably wouldn't fly, but I could say that now, but who knows? It's, I mean, it's a hard call, but like, when I think about, what these folks want to do, and then the flip side is having like a decentralized ID. So let's just say I'm 25 years old and I look 18, because I mean, I really probably looked more like I was 15 when I was 25 years old. And I went to the liquor store to buy some whiskey because I'm getting nervous about the world. With the decentralized ID, all I have to do is give them the credentials of my age. So that would be my public key, my private key. I own my own identity with a unique identifier. So I only share pertinent information when I have to.
And is there a particular decentralized ID out there, platform, project?
So I'm gonna be, I need to do a deeper dive. I just wanted to mention this because definitely clients are getting super concerned about this. And there's always going to be a solution to the problem.
Yeah.
is what I'm thinking, right? And this is like the whole thing. When I see the G20 meet, the World Economic Forum, the Bank of International Settlements, when they start talking about a unified ledger, right? And the Bank of International Settlements owns 65 central banks, including the United States. All right. So they do what Augustin Karsten says. And that's the only short that we did. And now I totally forgot how to do shorts. I don't even remember if I did that or if you did that. But we only have one short. I'm working on it. I hate marketing. I just want to talk to people.
No, you're doing awesome out there with things that you're creating for us and the world. So thank you for those efforts. Yeah, I guess in Carson, we'll have to include that link in this particular podcast as well.
Yeah, so that's a good idea. So just take, it's a short, it's not long, but he talks about, he wants to track every dollar the person is a person is spending, right? And in the video, he's like, we don't know who's using $100 bill or $1,000 peso. Like, but in the new system, we will have absolute control. They'll know everything. And you know what, Kel? They know everything already.
Yeah.
So here we are. We have an opportunity to get educated and to steer the ship and to become sovereign citizens on a decentralized, like, blockchain, okay, where it's super secure. Decentralization, not one point of failure. The Federal Reserve Bank has been hacked before in the United States. You want to have all of your information. And do you trust the government? I mean, we literally had a pilot get ejected from a multi-million-dollar freaking, airplane. And we don't know where the plane is. I don't trust them. I don't believe that. We spend the most money in the military next to our debt. We have over $33 trillion worth of debt, but most of the money we're still spending on the military, but we don't know where our plane is. Yeah. So again, theater, and they're going to try to scare people so hard to be like, oh, the government knows what's best for me. Let me scan my face, download this FedNow app, give me my UBI.
For sure.
And we're gonna have a decentralized ID. And we better be able to use it for our driver's license, for medical care, or we're gonna have to change our system, and we did a podcast a couple of weeks ago with Charles Hodgkinson talking about decentralizing the government, because it's coming, folks, right? But these systems are going to fail, they're falling, and then we're going to be building the new ones, steering the ship.
It's so funny or not. I have a couple of friends that have been watching like the Mad Max series, or like I'm watching that in Waterworld, and like because everything, they're telling you a vision through all these programs, and so everybody's doing a deep dive, like what little nugget in there do I need to bring into they told us then, let me look now, what do I need to be prepared for? Anyway, I want to revisit those. And while you're at it, watch The Matrix too.
Yeah, I think The Matrix is like a good one. I think that's a good one. But, I just feel like it's really important that people understand, like, part of the blockchain and part of moving to Web 3.0 is that we have the ability to own our data. And I don't think that the average citizen understands that when you download an app on your iPhone or on your Android, you are basically giving monopolistic companies access to all of your data so they can generate algorithms to get you to buy things or to steer you in a way that they want you to be steered.
Of course.
Okay, so whether that's, a censorship bill where you can only follow the narrative, whatever it may be, it's super concerning, but we got to get educated. And again, I think there's a lot of us, we're just very quiet. So we got this. We got this.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So meanwhile, let's talk about, what do you want to talk about next? Let's talk about the CBDC Anti-Surveillance Act. Can you believe that, that this is even going on? It's like, you know, I remember, shout out to Patty. She's part of Two Women in Crypto. She met with her financial advisor, and the financial advisor said that a CBDC is a conspiracy theory. Okay, so Tom Emmer, the senator, I think he's the senator of Minnesota. So he came out, and I think it just passed the House. So it's going to go to the Senate next. And then if Biden doesn't sign off on this, folks, you know where he stands. Anyway, so he's basically Tom Emmer, and I think 50 people from the Senate collaborated on the anti-CBDC Surveillance Act. So this is a good thing. This is a good thing. Basically what they were saying is like, we need to counter China, right? Because you listen to the Democrats like Maxine Waters, because she totally is for the people of the United States.
Yeah.
She basically is like, don't you think it's a good idea that, we look and see what China's doing this, like we have to keep up with China. And it's like, no, let's keep up with America. Why do people come to America? Land of the free, home of the brave. At least that's the propaganda, right? And, I mean, so it's like, okay, so she's like, well, we should do a central bank digital currency so we could keep up with China. We should do the opposite. So we actually have people that want to like use the United States dollar, the digital dollar. You know what I mean? So I think this bill will pass. No one in Congress, not no one, because I shouldn't say that, but a mass majority of people in Congress are not going to vote for the central bank digital currency. At this moment of time, there could be an event, it's just like, I think about, all these different like proof of concept projects, right? Like we had, people were, not in Florida, but people, I'm sure in Portland, people were walking around with their shot pass. You got the shot, you get to walk around with your papers and show people to get into certain places. That's a proof of concept for a digital ID. Mm-hmm. Can we see this now? Right? And it's like, you care about your family, you care about your grandma, you better do this. Meanwhile, we have millions of immigrants coming across our border every day. Where's the... So it's an agenda. I think it's pretty clear now. They don't care about us, right? So we have to take back our sovereignty. I mean, I see the writing on the wall, right? And and it makes me upset. It makes me super sad. People were so super scared. And I was really scared. We were all scared. No one knew what was going on. But like, I look at like NFTs, for example, non-fungible tokens, right? We're tokenizing bored apes. Right? So like artwork, but non-fungible tokens are going to give us digital rights, digital property rights. So these bored apes and all of these projects, once again, was a proof of concept bridging us to the new economy. Mm-hmm. And it's like, so cool. And we have to have a decentralized ID to have access to all of these different things.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, there is an element of adaptation that needs to take place across the board, but to have an option is all we're asking. All we need, have options.
Exactly. And I mean, I have been spending the last couple of years, not often, but I'm pushing myself to do more events and go. I'm a super introverted person. I like to spend most of my time alone. Like Kelly and I struggle with this because we're like the same person, just we look different, right?
Yeah, it's like, okay, I'm done. Okay, I've said my Go home now.
I'm exhausted, right?
Yeah.
But like, talking to people, there's a lot of people that are like, I am not going to take responsibility to become my own bank. A majority of the people need to rely on someone else.
Yeah, I mean it's just what we've been conditioned to do. We just do what we've told. I mean, it's been forever like that. I mean, it's it's really tough. It's a tough mindset to rewire the brain. It's a tough mindset to rewire, I should say, for people.
Yeah. But you can do it.
You
Because
can.
when Kelly and I help people and we walk people through step by step, gently, slowly, okay? Especially like older people who they didn't have computers growing up. But when you become your own bank and you see a person light up to now have that additional layer of sovereignty, oh my God.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's huge. And I know it strikes a very emotional chord, for them and for us, but it's a huge thing. I mean, it's just so empowering and gives people some sovereignty.
Yeah, for sure. Because, the other thing is too, it's like, when you're listening to Congress and all of these different things, we have a lot of bills in play. We actually need a bill so we're allowed to be our own bank. I think this is so stupid, right? It's very concerning. And, and then I'm looking at like, okay, so these corporations and stuff, they don't even follow the law, right? Kel, we covered that MICA bill that got passed in Europe, the UK, like providing regulatory framework for cryptocurrency. But yet yesterday, Chase in the UK came out, and I think they have 1 million users in the UK, and they're like, they blocked cryptocurrency on and off ramps again due to
Really?
fraud. Right, due to fraud. So I'm super curious because I wrote it down. There's this there's another senator. Did you see the senator? Him and his wife just got indicted for bribery.
Yeah, and he's saying he's not going to resign. He's refused.
He's going to jail. He got indicted like yesterday.
Yeah.
So he was bribing. Oh, what's his name? He's a senator of New Jersey. So I have like 350 pages of notes from this week.
Yeah, I saw that too. I don't recall his name. Hold on.
Oh, bummer. If I find it, I'll do a shout out to it. But so okay. So anyway, so like in 2022, the senator of New Jersey comes out and he's saying Bitcoin is a scam, all this fraud. Meanwhile, him and his wife just got indicted yesterday for taking $580,000 in bribes in the United States dollar and in bars of gold. Okay. So, I mean, come on, folks. Like,
Isn't it? Is it Bob? Is it Bob? What? Yeah, Bob Mendez.
That's right. Bob Mendez. That's his name. Okay. So we need to know what's going on with these folks. We need to stop them. We need to really start paying attention. I really think people still vote based on nothing. We need to know who we're voting for. So I don't know. Coinbase came out. Here we go. We're going to post this. It's coinbase.com, public policy legislative portal. So you could just go to Coinbase, find out who the cryptocurrency legislations, like pro cryptocurrency and pro freedom, right? Like we don't want cryptocurrency to enslave us, right? We want it to actually free us. And that's what the blockchain is all about, right? That was Bitcoin's whole idea, was peer-to-peer transactions without a central authority. And right. I don't even think people understand that. they still, you know, it's like, this is a technological breakthrough, right? Nobel Peace Prize. These folks, you know, this platform, you know, but like, we got to get educated because, you know, like I said, I think we only have about less than a year, you know, so we got to get the right people in office. I think that cryptocurrency is going to be a big time like political issue, which I wish it wasn't, because it's not political. This is like, we need money outside the system to protect ourselves,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, just
right?
in Coinbase too, just this morning, I think I read that, again, I think Coinbase is the chosen one here in the United States. But they just got approved to be, or are going through the process of being approved to be able to trade futures as well, which is, I mean, that's the history that I have, was trading futures and commodities. So anyway, they're the chosen one anyway on that whole thing. But
Yeah, and Coinbase is going to be custodying all of the spot Bitcoin ETFs. So it's like, if you're still in the stock market, you know, maybe you might want to look at like buying some Coinbase.
I mean,
Not financial advice. We're not financial advisors, but like, when I look at all of these different things, it's very interesting.
yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of
Cool.
opportunities out there.
So Kelly and I have been interviewing for we're going to be hiring an assistant here at Two Women in Crypto.
Yeah, the interview process has been fascinating. Who can show up as what and or how? But I think we have a top candidate.
We have top candidates. So shout out to Heather from Two Women in Crypto. She posted this in our private Telegram group. So apparently, and I did not think that they were going to do this as quickly. I did not, because I knew that this was like ready to go. But Chat GPT can now see, hear, and speak to us. It's coming out. I think it's coming out next week.
Yeah, well, you know, and it's interesting. I was having a conversation with another friend last night, and she's now utilizing AI for everything, her whole marketing behind in her website. They've got a plug-in and it's all AI driven. She'll give them 3 prompts and it'll create her newsletter for her and book it and send it and all these things. So it's part of it. And I was reading an article this morning. I think it was on Twitter. It was a post, or X, or whatever it's called, where Boston Dynamics, the difference between Boston Dynamics robots and Teslas or Neuralink robots is that Boston Dynamics is done by code, specific code for precision, where Neuralink robots are using speech, and they're able to conform by the world and how the world is teaching them, and then via neurotransmission. So yeah, completely 2 different aspects, but it just shows you how far we've come and where we're going. So yep, here we go. This is
I mean, AI is going to be probably, I think they're estimating it to bring in like over $7 trillion.
Yeah.
For our GDP.
You can tell AI to design your website and it'll design your website for you.
Right.
I mean, it's
yeah,
really
doing any content creation, like, you know, like we were doing, I was telling Kelly last night, like we were doing a sound, Rowan was doing a sound healing for my brother's girlfriend. And it's like, she's got like this funny little like thunder stick that's like super cool and all the kids love it. And my brother's girlfriend was like, oh my God, I want to get this for my classroom. And I was like, let's jump on Chat GPT and say, make me a lesson plan for first graders using a thunder stick. And it's boom, 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 boom. And it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So education, healthcare, accounting, real estate, anything, website, content, you know, social media, it's all going to be run by AI. Trading is going to be run by bots and AI. Like this is just like, this is where we are heading. And we're going to see how much it disrupts, how many people are going to get displaced from the workforce or get retrained into something else. But everything is going to be based on technology because we're moving into a new economy. That economy is leveraged on technology. Words from Jerome Powell, the federal chairman of the
Well,
Reserve
and
Bank.
I think that's where the UBI comes in. Because as people do become displaced and they're not on a curve to find or able to secure a normal work environment, whatever that is, whatever that could be, there's gonna be that line. There's gonna be that line. So if you've been displaced,
Right.
what's your next option? UBI.
Right. And that's a great way to get a central ID, right,
Yeah, I
from
mean-
the government, right? Because if you're broke and you didn't buy Bitcoin, you're not holding your physical gold and silver, you know, what's gonna be your options? You know, I just don't know, right? So, I mean, that's such a good point. That's such a good point, but you know, I'm
But that's
holding out.
important. But that, I mean, to the point is that's why we show up to do these things, is for
Right.
people to lean in, you know, because it's overwhelming to think about that possibility. And when you're in it, you're thinking to yourself, okay, well, what am I going to do when AI does take, you know, if you are thinking about it, you know, but that's why we keep on showing up.
I know. And again, you know, being out in the community, talking to people, honestly, the majority of the population has no idea. They don't even know what ChatGPT is yet. A lot of people do. I'm not saying that, but there's a lot of people who don't know. So please share this video, like and subscribe, and we're gonna keep trying. We're gonna do I'm doing a you know, I used to be a Division I athlete, so everything's like a sport. I'm gonna do like full court press when I get back to Florida and just run around and just, I'm gonna drive around. I got this airport shuttle bus that has like solar panels on it. The thing it's probably dead because no one's driven it in a couple months. But once I juice up the battery, I'm gonna get one of those like
Megaphone speakers on the outside. Make it a big thing of crypto where it used to be the Wiener mobile driving down the road. Yes, we're dating ourselves in terms of look at our gray hair. Where they have a big speaker.
Totally.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. Oh my goodness, I love it. So awesome. So yep. So this, you know, this video is coming out. We pre-record a day early. So what is it? The 30th, Kelly, at 11 a.m. Eastern. Q&A. It's like a $10 donation. You know, please come. Like, we love meeting new people. It's an awesome little group that we have going on here at Two Women in Crypto. And again,
Yep.
Kelly and I appreciate everyone's kind words. Like, I love all the feedback. It really motivates us to keep us going.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And grab your popcorn. And I guess until we see you, hopefully Saturday.
Huddle on.
Your hosts for Two Women in Crypto are Andrea Caldero and Kelly Lair. You'll find more information and details regarding the Two Women in Crypto membership, educational and informative class and event offerings, and more via their website, twowomenencrypto.com. Both Andrea and Kelly are available for speaking events and offer private consultations focused on helping individuals navigate the future. Until next time, huddle on.